Picture James Earl Jones. I bet you're not even picturing him at all, are you? No, you're hearing him. Sure, we can all envision him and all the amazing characters he brought to life, but we have to admit, it's his voice that really sticks with us, as he provided the vocals for Darth Vader, Mufasa, Bell Atlantic, and CNN, the most trusted name in news, and so many more. James Earl Jones has continuously provided a baritone of thick molasses that is unforgettable, carrying both command and comfort. Oh yeah, and he's one hell of an actor too. So how did this all happen? How did this man go on to appear in so many great films? And is he still making great films? From stage to screen to practically anywhere, James Earl Jones undoubtedly left his mark. And the industry has certainly shown their loyalty by gifting this man many Lifetime Achievement Awards. 'Cause yes, what a life it has been. So yeah, what's he up to now? What the f*** happened to James Earl Jones? But to truly understand what the f*** happened to James Earl Jones, we must begin at the beginning, and the beginning began when he was born on his birthday in a small Mississippi town in 1931. Although he was the son of a boxer and actor named Robert Earl Jones, he was raised by his grandparents, not even speaking with his father for decades. Growing up, James Earl Jones, as it may be hard to believe, had a stutter. And while he was shy about it, he was urged to read poetry out loud in school, overcoming those obstacles and winning a public speaking contest in high school, and earning a full scholarship to the University of Michigan. He would even dedicate his autobiography to the teacher who pushed him, unlike the real Anakin who did not appreciate his teacher. The arts were not for James Earl Jones, at least to start. He joined the Reserve Officers Training Corps and also intended to study medicine. It was during this era that he switched his major to drama, as he awaited and assumed that he would be drafted into the Korean War, which he would be. Then Mr. Jones would end up working as a stagehand, building sets for a Michigan troupe, later moving to New York to study at the American Theater Wing. By the late 1950s, he had truly adapted to the stage life. And in 1957, he made his Broadway debut, quickly landing his first major role in 1958's Sunrise at Campo Bello. Soon enough, he starred in the groundbreaking The Blacks in 1961, and James Earl Jones would do plenty of Shakespeare, Othello, The Merchant of Venice, and many more. He absolutely loves being on stage, and would often return even when he was a big movie star, you know? You could see him in The Iceman Cometh, Of Mice and Men, Fences, which won him a Best Actor at the Tonys. He was also in On Golden Pond, which got him a Tony nomination as well. And in 2008, from 2009, he was in Cat on a Hot Tin Roof, while doing numerous stints in Driving Miss Daisy. I'm assuming he played the driver. And he would keep on keeping on doing his stage thing in 2012 with The Best Man, which he received another Tony nomination. And even as recently as 2016, you could see James Earl Jones on the stage in The Gin Game. He would earn 4 Tony nominations throughout his career, later even getting a theater named after him in New York City. But the screen was calling, and soon enough he landed his first Emmy nomination for an episode of East Side, West Side. There too were episodes in popular TV shows like Dr. Kildare and NYPD. But then James Earl Jones got to work with the legendary Stanley Kubrick, who finally put this great actor on the big screen in 1964's Dr. Strangelove, or How I Learned to Stop Worrying and Love the Bomb. You could also see him in 1967's The Comedians, and there was even an early spot on Sesame Street, well before he was a bona fide star. But in 1970, James Earl Jones earned his first Oscar nomination for the film The Great White Hope, which apparently is not a documentary on Shark Week. It's actually like a really good, really important film. And this performance right here in The Great White Hope, well, you're looking at the second Black Best Actor nominee ever. Quite fitting considering he already won a Tony for this role when it was on the stage. He would also nab a Golden Globe for Most Promising Newcomer. That year, he also gave a truly wild performance in an even wilder movie, The End of the Road. But it was not the end of the road for James Earl Jones's career. 1972 brought another remarkable dramatic performance, playing the first black president of the United States in a movie called The Man. James Earl Jones wasn't really the first black president of the United States, in case you were wondering. That went to Bill Clinton. Then he landed another Golden Globe nomination for Claudine, and gave a powerful yet small effective turn in TV's The K. Then James Earl Jones would dabble in sci-fi for the first time, before going to a galaxy far, far away. You could see him in a movie called The UFO Incident, which is actually a true story about an interracial couple who were abducted by aliens. 1976 saw a movie called The River Niger and Deadly Hero, as well as the baseball comedy The Bingo Long Traveling All-Stars and Motor Kings. The following year had quite a selection of motion pictures, like playing Balthazar in the miniseries Jesus of Nazareth, and he's probably like the only kind of good thing in Exorcist 2. You could see him playing opposite Bill Cosby and Sidney Poitier in A Piece of the Action, and he appeared as Malcolm X in a Muhammad Ali project called The Greatest. And then there was perhaps his greatest character ever. At the time that he had voiced Darth Vader in 1977's Star Wars, James Earl Jones refused to take any form of on-screen credit, not believing that his Darth Vader performance was a true performance. That same went for 1980's The Empire Strikes Back, though this would be adjusted on reissues. And then, after providing a voice to the greatest movie villain ever, you could also hear him in Flight of the Dragon and other animated musicals. James Earl Jones is a great actor. He became, legendary, of course. But unfortunately, it seemed like casting directors started hiring him just because he was a legend. Because of his iconic voice. In films like Judge Dredd, Click, Scary Movie 4. Unfortunately, sometimes there are performances of his that are, parody. There is such a thing as, becoming too iconic. That is with one true cinematic exception. That of Mufasa in 1994's The Lion King. A role that he won strictly because of his domineering voice. And as you know, The Lion King, it's one of the most successful, one of the greatest films ever made, probably the best Disney movie ever made, and if you disagree, shut up. But then, for some stupid reason, they decided to, make a, quote, live-action version of The Lion King, which it's not live-action because they're not live lions, but, whatever. They did the remake thing, and they could have brought back Matthew Broderick and Nathan Lane and all those other people, but they didn't. They completely would recast all the voices. They did not need Jonathan Taylor Thomas anymore, but they did bring back James Earl Jones, because, how even dare you even consider recasting him? He is Mufasa. He is Darth Vader. He is Bell Atlantic, and he is the most trusted name and news.
This is CNN.
Hell, this is the guy that they asked to read poems at MLB games. The dude was even hired to read the Bible. That says it all right there. But it actually doesn't say it all. I have more to say about James Earl Jones. Yeah, let's talk about his best films. Of course, there's Star Wars. Yeah, we get it. But he certainly made Conan the Barbarian a hell of a lot more fun, with his chewy, scene-stealing moments. Remember when his face starts to stretch when he becomes that, reptile thing? And what about Coming to America in 1988? Without his commanding turn as Eddie Murphy's father, that movie wouldn't have been as good. And of course, he reprised the role in 2021. Proven that he still gots it. But yeah, the Coming to America sequel, it very well may be his final screen performance. Maybe. I hope it's not. I hope he does more. But it's a wonderful one to retire on if he really is, done. And yeah, could Field of Dreams be as enduring without him? I certainly think not. He brought heart and soul to this movie. Just like he did with The Sandlot. Oh my god, he brought something special to it. Like I said, he brings the heart and soul. turning good movies into greats, and turning great movies into classics.
Before we continue with our video, here's a reminder to click the Store tab on any of our JoBlo channels and browse our collection of the latest and freshest designs in our merch store. Go get you some.
Don't get us wrong though, Mr. James Earl Jones. He's such a prolific actor that yeah, he's bound to appear in some forgettable trash, like the Bushido Blade, Blood Tide, MST3K fodder City Limits, the ABC dramedy Mom and Me, the absolutely horribly kind of awesome but horrible, but you know, just what the Soul Man movie. He was in a canon flick called Alan Quatermain, but none of these lesser films ruined his reputation, because he was able to find balance with roles that he was, you know, more committed to, like Roots, The Next Generations, and he even played cult leader Jim Jones in a TV movie. There was also the Atlanta child murders, and a true standout turn in a wonderful film called Matawan. And of course he kicked things up a bit by playing the inspirational coach in The Best of the Best. There was a SAG-nominated role as a minister in Cry, The Beloved Country, and he had a pretty incredible arc on Homicide: Life on the Streets. There was a Coppola collaboration with Gardens of Stone, a Sundance hit called My Little Girl, and a thankless role in a pointless movie called Three Fugitives. But whatever duds there were, James Earl Jones kept in good graces with the industry, landing a franchise role as Vice Admiral Greer in the Jack Ryan movies. That's right, you could see him in The Hunt for Red October, Patriot Games, and Clear and Present Danger. All wonderful, top-notch action thriller films. There too would be serious Emmy accolades, becoming the first actor to win 2 in the same year for drama series Gabriel's Fire and miniseries Heat Wave in 1990. But really, aren't we just rounding off movies and TV shows? But yeah, that's what it is, because the dude, he never stopped working, always bringing us interesting projects. There were Sneakers, Summersby, Excessive Force, and of course, Meteor Man. And yeah, like we've said, we love us some James Earl Jones, but such output, the vast majority in recent years, feels like sometimes he's just going through the motions in movies that kind of could have gotten on without him, like Clean Slate, Jefferson in Paris, Under One Roof, A Family Thing, Good Luck. There was a Casper prequel, gang-related, Undercover Angel, The Annihilation of Fish, Finder's Fee. He did another voice in Robots. I guess he was kind of funny in Welcome Home Roscoe Jenkins, tried out some drama in Gimme Shelter, there was The Angriest Man in Brooklyn, and 2018's Warning Shot. But yeah, in 2022, James Earl Jones announced that he was officially retiring from voicing Darth Vader. He did have a stint reprising his trademark character on Star Wars Rebels, Rogue One, Rise of Skywalker, and Obi-Wan Kenobi, but the dude, he was done. And since his voice has already been replicated using artificial intelligence, I guess he was like, yeah, it's time to go. And is replacing James Earl Jones with AI an insult? To some, yeah, it is. To others, it's just a sign of the times, and we must accept it. But yeah, it doesn't really matter what they do to this Star Wars franchise, or what they do with this great man's voice, because there's nothing they can do to ruin it. His legacy is secure. Nobody's voice will ever make our ears feel this way again. And you know what, James Earl Jones, he doesn't need some big major comeback. He doesn't need one more big blockbuster or, you know, award or anything. The dude's got plenty. He is James Earl Jones, and nobody's gonna take that away from him. He absolutely changed the way actors speak, and he changed the way we listen, bringing fear, inspiration, love, adventure, and comedy to the art of cinema. So nobody should give a fuck about what the fuck happened to James Earl Jones, because he's doing just fine.